Hello, sports fans of the SEC. This post will be taking a look at the history of the Tiki Bar. It's like I'm watching PBS. The origin of the Tiki Bar began with a man named Ernest Gant. As an adult, he would travel to Caribbean islands, bringing back souvenirs and collectibles he found on the islands. Don would finally settle in Hollywood, California. It was during the midst of Prohibition, so what better job to have than running alcohol as a bootlegger? After Prohibition, Grant would open his signature bar, Don the Beachcomber. However, it was much more than a bar, as it featured a Cantonese restaurant and store up front. The Cantonese dishes included pineapple to give more of an island taste. Nearly every drink in the bar featured rum, mostly because of its cheapness and high levels of sugar content. By far the most popular was a drink called the Zombie. Gant made the drink for a friend trying to get through a business meeting with a bad hangover. The friend came back several days later saying that he had been turned into a zombie. It's no surprise that the drink was mostly rum, with some fruit juices and bitters. The drink became so popular that it was featured in the 1939 World's Fair held in New York. Two of the other main attractions that were featured at the fair included a time capsule from Western Gate and a parachute drop presented by Lifesavers Candy. You needed a drink like the Zombie because you were either bored to death or 5 seconds away from dying. Gant would go on to join other Americans in World War II. With Gant specializing in the tourist industry, it's no surprise that he went on to be in charge of R&R. His R&R stations positioned in the south of France and Venice became much-needed bastions of hope for those serving in World War II. During the war, Gant's wife expanded Don the Beachcomber to a 16-location franchise, like this one located in Chicago. The interest in Polynesian culture had only grown during World War II, in which many U.S. soldiers were stationed in Polynesian and Southeast Asian islands. Perhaps seizing on this opportunity, Hollywood followed suit, creating a long line of Polynesian-inspired movies in the 1940s and 1950s. The most famous of these films probably being The Blue Lagoon and From Here to Eternity. The old crooner himself, Frank Sinatra, was even said to enjoy tiki bars. His favorite drink was one called the Navy Grog, which featured a boatload of rum. Also adding to the popularity was James Michener's Tales of the South Pacific, which won a Pulitzer Prize and later became a movie. This led to a high level of tiki craze throughout America, creating all kinds of new tiki bars. A second major player to the tiki bar industry came when Victor Bergeron Jr. opened Trader Vic's with $500 of borrowed money. His franchise would spread to London, Bangkok, and to the United Arab Emirates. His last bar to open was in 2018 in Dubai. Though it is up for debate, Trader Vic's claims to have invented the very popular drink, the Mai Tai. However, the drink is also claimed to be invented by Gant, who after World War II had moved to Hawaii because he had lost his bars in his divorce from his wife. In Hawaii, he went on to open the very successful Polynesian Village, another tiki bar. Many of these early tiki bars relied on cheap antics like talking birds that would tell patrons to shut up, or water hoses that made it look like it was raining outside. It's rumored that these ideas helped to inspire Walt Disney's Tiki Room, which featured animatronic singing birds and a fake rainstorm, although tiki bars used the fake rain as a ploy to get customers to stick around and have another drink. In the 1950s, the continued popularity of the book Kon-Tiki and the early rumors of Hawaii becoming a state continued to fuel the tiki craze. This created careers for guys like Bob Van Oosting and Leroy Schmaltz. If bars bought any tiki objects in the 1950s onward, it was probably from these two. They prided themselves in traveling to Polynesian villages in order to learn how to make their designs look authentic, as many designers at the time were carving just anything that they liked, without any sort of cultural reference. Providing the music for these bars was a man named Martin Denny, who made island-sounding noises along with animal chants. His album Exotica reached #1 on US music list. As air travel became more common and less expensive, exposure to Polynesian culture became synonymous with wealth and sexuality, allowing tiki bars to survive well into the 1960s. And then, they fell out of vogue. For some, maybe we saw them as tacky, or insensitive to another person's culture. Maybe they were replaced by bars that were equally as tacky and insensitive. Tiki bars were the embodiment of escapism. You could take a vacation simply by ordering a drink. And they say if you squinted very hard, you almost feel like you were there. But fear not, SEC fans, there are some tiki-inspired bars still hanging around as an homage. If you're attending the SEC Championship, we encourage you to visit Trader Vic's Atlanta so that you too can relive the days of the tiki bar. If your local SEC town has a tiki bar, please tell us about it in the comments section. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe, check out our other videos, or buy our t-shirts. I sound pretty smart, don't I? I mean, I just read it off the teleprompter, but I could have written it.